And I will go ahead and welcome all of you again. And I'd like to welcome Meg Cody. And Meg, would you like to take it away for us?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Meg Cody, and actually just got a promotion a couple weeks ago. So I'm now the lead case manager at the Bybee Lakes Hope Center. Woo! Which means that we're looking to hire a new case manager at the Bybee Lakes Hope Center. So if you're interested, I'll dive into a bit about what we do here. And if you're interested at all, feel free to reach out to me, or you can apply through our website. Here at Bybee Lakes, we are one of 13 different locations operated by Helping Hands. Helping Hands Reentry Outreach started about, someone is saying they can't hear me. Can other people hear me? Yes, okay. So I'm sorry, Shane, I don't know what is going on with that.
I'll connect with Shane on the side.
Okay, thanks. So Helping Hands Reentry started about 20 years ago by Alan Evans. Alan Evans, he has a lived experience of, sorry, I just was getting a call, but his lived experience of being homeless and being addicted to drugs, abuse, trauma. And he was, in and out of jail, like on and off the streets for about 20 years before someone finally sat him down and said, hey, what's going on? And he got connected to the services he needed to get sober and to get housing and to get employment. And Alan decided he wanted to do that for more people. So about 20 years ago, he started doing that work essentially on the coast. So a lot of our locations are on the coast. And over those 20 years, they've opened 12 or 13 different centers. So we have day shelters, we have our programs, which are transitional housing programs. I'll get into that in a little bit. We have a navigation center. We're going to be opening up another center in Lincoln City. We're hiring for those positions. Pretty soon, our next area is going to be in Washington County. So we are quickly growing. So over the 20 years now at this point, we have over 600 beds available to people experiencing homelessness across the state of Oregon. So we're all over. So Bybee Lakes is specifically in Portland. We're in North Portland, above St. John's. We're right by Kelly Point Park, if you're familiar with that area. It's really cool. I like it. We're the most northern part of Portland. There are very few things that are more north than us. So it's cool, kind of like this tip of the iceberg, so to speak. And as I mentioned, we are a transitional housing program. So we're referral based. Anyone who comes in through our doors to join our program and stay in our program, they do need a referral from a referral partner. Anyone can become a referral partner. It just takes a 1-hour training, and we have those every month. It's virtual. So that referral partner would send someone our way who they identify as a good fit for our program. And then that person, we have a 30-day shelter stay component. So people who kind of just need to, relax, maybe take a hot shower, have some meals, whatever they need, they can come in and they can kind of stay in our shelter. The only requirement we have at that point is that they are not actively detoxing and that they commit to being clean and sober while they reside with us. So we are a clean and sober facility. And that includes people in that shelter component, because we have so many people here that are in recovery. We want to make sure that we are kind of protecting that. So over that time, they stay in the shelter. We serve meals here. Our dining hall is open 24 hours a day. We always have food out, and we have a hot dinner every night. We always have breakfast foods out, things like that. So people can take a shower. We have laundry on site. They can wash their clothes. They can get connected to services. A big part of our service model is bringing services to us. So for instance, we've partnered with Outside In, and they bring their medical services on site here, and they help people sign up for OHP, things like that. So people coming right in to us, they can get connected to medical care. We also partnered with Mind Solutions. They provide on-site mental health counseling, substance use treatment, and MAT programming. So a statistic that we collected is that about 42%, I believe, of people who come in through our building have some sort of identified mental health condition, and only 4% of them are receiving treatment at the time that they join our program. So a big part is, kind of bringing the mountain to Muhammad, bringing the services here, so that way we can get people connected right off the bat. So people are in our shelter, they're getting connected to services, and they can also try out our program. So I've kind of mentioned that we're a program because our ultimate goal is to transition every single person in our building into their own independent long-term housing, which means that part of our program, we have a class requirement. So people are expected to take classes. They can take those on site or they can take them off site. So if someone's getting their GED, if someone's going to a work training program, that counts. So we want to encourage a continual learning. We also have a volunteer requirement. So people either need to do 5 or 10 hours per week. Once again, that can be on site or off site. So getting people in the habit of giving back in a sense. And so people can try that out and see if it's a program that's going to support them in whatever their recovery looks like. If it's recovering from trauma, recovering, drug and alcohol recovery, recovery from a domestic violence situation, whatever that looks like. So we'll connect them to services, we'll support them. And then after they've been here for about a month, they'll try out the structure of our program. So like I said, it's volunteer service and it's class requirement. So it is a good chunk of time that is committed to working a program. And so after a person tries that out, and if they're like, okay, yeah, this program's going to work for me, then we officially have them join our reentry program. And at that time, they'll start to have a monthly fee. We call it a program due. It's $250 a month. We do that for a few reasons. One, to get people back in the habit of paying a bill, because ultimately we want anyone who leaves our program to be able to live on their own. They have a job, they pay their bills, they're in affordable housing or whatever their housing looks like. So that's our ultimate goal. Having this fee kind of gets people in that rhythm and gets people used to that. It also is encouraging and teaching accountability and responsibility, which is something that some people might not have had structure or support with for a few years. Also, we can be a rental referral. So if someone doesn't have a rental history, if someone hasn't rented in like 5 years, or if someone has an eviction on their record, we can now kind of vouch for them and say, hey, this person has paid their dues here on time for the past 6 months. We can kind of advocate in that sense. So, and that, like I said, that fee doesn't start right away. It starts typically like after someone's been here for like 4 to 6 weeks. So we give them time to get in, we give them time to settle in, we give them time to identify what their needs are. Are their needs, going to be able to be met in this program? Do they have needs that might need to be met somewhere else? So for instance, people with very, who have a lot of medical needs, we're not a medical facility. So we do our best to meet people's needs, but we do have like thresholds for things like that. So what we'll do in those situations is we'll navigate them to the next best thing. Ultimately, we're not looking to have, we want to make sure that people are connected to whatever resources that they need. And that might include, navigating them away from our program. If this program is too much for them, or if they need more structure for their sobriety, we give people a little more leniency to kind of do what they need to do. And some people who are really fresh in their sobriety, they need a structured, rigorous program. So we just connect people to resources, and with the ultimate goal of, helping them get on the path to independent, permanent long-term housing. So that's kind of the overview. I wanted to leave space for questions, so I didn't get into details. So want to leave space for questions. So I open the floor to that. Who has questions? Are there any fees? Yes. So after about 4 to 6 weeks, if someone decides they do want to join our program, so we're not going to spring it on them, we're not going to surprise them. They have time to kind of acclimate and make that choice themselves. So if someone does join our program, that typically happens within 4 to 6 weeks of them first entering our building, and it'll be $250 a month. And we do have scholarships available. OHP Flex Funds will cover our program fees here. So say someone's not ready to get work right away, or say someone's working on getting like SSI, we have ways to meet that need. So that way it's not as like a stressor, because some people need to work on their mental health. So the referral, is that for the referral partner training, Tammy? So for the referral partner training, it happens once a month. It's just an hour long. It's through video. I believe our next one is this Friday. So if anyone's interested, I will put my contact information in the chat so anyone can follow up with me afterwards. I can send you the link for that referral partner training. So with connection to employment, you're welcome. With connection to employment, so we are in North Portland. So about 60% of the people in our building are employed, whether that's when they first come in or after they've been here for a bit. So about 60% of our building is currently employed. We can connect them to warehouse jobs. Those are ample and right in the area. As I mentioned, we're also pretty close to St. John's. So it's about a 15-minute bus ride to and from St. John's. We connect people to employment. We also have Goodwill Job Connection. We've partnered with them. And so they come on site and they provide resume building, like support, job coaching, career navigation, career exploration. So we've partnered with Goodwill Job Connection to bring that service on site to help connect people to employment as well. We have people who are in training programs. We have connections to different training programs through Portland Community College, through WorkSource. So we've built partnerships with them. If people aren't ready for employment, but maybe want to get some skills, so that way, they can take the next step. With transportation, there is still much to be desired. Right now, we have a commuter bus. So that's Monday through Friday. It stops about 4 times in the morning and 4 times in the afternoon, evening. Outside of that, we do have bikes available. So people can always bike down to the max on the off times. Also, we received a grant. So by this summer, we will have 2 electric vans, and we are planning on using that for medical transportation instead of ride to care. Because ride to care, I'm not sure if y'all know, is kind of hit or miss sometimes. But also we can kind of run a shuttle to and from the max. We're very close to the expo center. So if we ran a shuttle to the expo center, people could catch the max and access pretty much anywhere in Portland. So while we still have some growth in the transportation area, we do have some solutions that are coming very quickly. Yes, we are able to work with people on a MAP program. It has to be Suboxone. We cannot accept anything else because we do UA here. And also, if people are interested in a MAP program, for the MAP programming, we need documentation from their provider as to what the program is, what that looks like. They would also need to provide their own lockbox, and that lockbox would be kept in a locked staff office. That's not something that a person can have on them. We have ways to work with that too. So if anyone's interested, say someone's just getting out of detox and wants a MAP program, we've partnered with Mind Solutions, who can provide that service on site. And the great thing about Mind Solutions is they also have an office outside of here. So it's not like once someone leaves Bybee, they lose their counselor. They can just see their counselor outside of Bybee. So there won't be any kind of gap in care in that sense when people transition out of here. So we do have a farming and gardening component. We partnered with VetRest. So last year, we actually, over the summer, about 40% of our vegetables came from our garden. And so that's, like I said, we partnered with VetRest. It's a nonprofit that, oh, there goes my motion. Like, there we go. It's a nonprofit that addresses veterans and works with veterans, connecting them to services. So last year provided, I think, 40% of our vegetables that we used over the summer and into the fall for our cooking and the meals that we provide here. And that's been incredible to watch because there's a participant who really has been pivotal in making that happen. Like the dirt out here is sand, like it's literally sand. So he had to dig out these trenches, fill it with compost, and he rallied people in the building too to get their volunteer hours by supporting this. So this year we have raised garden boxes as well. So people, so that way it's ADA accessible. And so, yeah, we're definitely expanding our garden on the grounds. We don't do any brain injury screening. Here, we're not trained for that. We leave that to the professionals. So if you suspect someone has a brain injury and maybe they need a screening, we would connect them to that resource. The only thing we would be concerned about is whether they're physically and mentally able to work our program. Because oftentimes if someone's sent to our program and it's too much for them, like, because it's not anything bad on them, it's not anything bad on us, but oftentimes that can create more stress than we would like to. So if someone has a brain injury, depending on what that is, like, we won't screen for it, but we will ask, like, can this person take care of themselves? Can this person walk? Because it's a large building and it was not made to be ADA accessible. So we do have people using walkers and wheelchairs, but it is a little bit difficult for them to navigate the building, just because it was not built to be ADA accessible. We serve all sorts of people. We have 2 dorms for women with children. We have a dorm for men with children. We're one of the few shelters that has space specifically for men with children. We have a rainbow dorm, which is LGBTQ. So if someone's trans, non-binary, identifies as LGBTQ and wants that safe space. The other dorms are assigned by gender. So either a men's dorm or a women's dorm. So we serve the whole gamut. And we do have space in our women's dorm right now. Our men's dorm is full, but if you know anyone, any women with children who, need space, you can connect them to a referral partner if you're not already. You can check our referral partner list on our website. And there's a whole list. It says make a referral. There's a whole list of organizations, or like I said, I'll be including my contact information and you can reach out to me anytime. I love this program. If you want a tour, if you want to come check out the building, I would love to give you a tour. I definitely invite you to do that. With children, yes. So we have partnered with Fabian and Roosevelt. So those are the 2 public schools. And the bus will literally pick them up and drop them off at our front door. They're the first stop in the morning and they're the last stop in the afternoon. So that way other kids aren't saying where they're staying. So that way it protects identity, it protects, all of that as well. So yes, and we do also have an on-site daycare. It's run by the YMCA. So if you need, because right now, a parent has to have their child with them. If the child's in the building, parent has to have the child with them. I've been working with DHS, CCR&R, WorkSource to get parents enrolled in different funding sources. So that way, they can have their child attend our daycare on site here for free. So yes, we have lots of amenities for children here. Any other questions? Yes, we expect the referral partner to screen the person for COVID before that person enters our building. And then we're still doing COVID screenings when people come in, which is temperature check. And then you mark if you have any of the symptoms and things like that. So we are still doing COVID screenings. Yeah, this is congregate living. So just a heads up, if one person gets sick, oftentimes a few other people will get sick. So if you have someone who's immunocompromised, it's congregate living. So heads up with that. We have had a couple COVID situations sweep through the building. I think we had 3 COVID outbreaks last year. So at those times, we will impose mask mandates as appropriate. But as of right now, we don't have a mask mandate. So every person's recovery is different. The average stay that people have in our program across all of our facilities is 6 to 9 months. Our program is modeled to be a year, but depending on a person's circumstances. So for instance, someone's been here over a year that I've been working with, and their mental health has been their #1 barrier. And it's been really hard for them to address their mental health needs. So although they've been here over a year, they're not ready for housing, but we've been able to provide them with a stable place to address their mental health. So there's no hard and fast, okay, you're at this timeline. It really depends on what the person's needs are when they first get here, and how much they're able to show up for meeting those needs as well. Some people, it takes a little more for them to get up and going, and other people, they're right off the bat. So it really depends, but the average is 6 to 9 months.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Meg. Super appreciate you. Love your energy and just your love of the program and what you're all doing is very evident. So great job. Keep it up. And if anyone does have a chance to go out and tour the facility, they've done a great job of trying to transform it. And it's a really incredible program that's growing, and I'm sure it's grown much since I was there last. So it might be time for another visit. So thank you again. And Meg, if it's okay, I'll include your email in the follow-up notes on Friday. And then if you want, I can send out, or maybe Meg, you could put your email in here if anyone wants to connect with you, because I'm worried that your training will happen before my email will get out. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for being here. And now we have Meredith Walker with Another Chance Rehab. She's a program director. And Meredith, I will let you go ahead and take the stage. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. And thank you, Meg, for sharing with us about Bybee Lakes. I'm Meredith Walker. I'm the program director of Another Chance Drug and Alcohol Rehab of Portland. And I have here with me Jessica, who's our new outreach and admissions person. So this is Jessica's second week with us. So probably by next week, she'll be doing all these presentations and things, and her contact info will be the one to reach out to for any referrals. So I brought a PowerPoint, so I'm just going to go ahead and go through it and let you guys know all about Another Chance. So give me one moment here to start sharing. All right, can you all see my PowerPoint? Okay, one moment here.
It's awfully light.
Yeah, this screen is light, and hopefully
Okay.
after this, our colors are a little, our logo colors are a little too light. We're working on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're Another Chance. So we're a PHP, IOP, outpatient and DUI program in the West Portland and Beaverton area. We're actually in the Cedar Mill neighborhood, so it's a Portland address and almost to Beaverton. And so the first thing I want to tell you about Another Chance is that we are really, truly, I have put our mission and our commitment up on the screen. We're really, truly trying to provide a patient-centered, trauma-sensitive experience. And so we're thinking about that in all that we do, from the physical space to how we hold meetings with staff, to our assessment and intake process. Just really doing our very best of recognizing that our folks that come to us, our folks with substance use disorder, they're really needing this trauma-sensitive experience in order not to be re-traumatized. And we're truly patient-centered. So we're letting our folks define what success looks like for them and helping create that through really individualized treatment planning. And so, yeah, there's our mission and our commitment right there. And we're just really wanting to help people find what recovery looks like for them. So this is our location. That's outside of our building. It's a really great building. We have plenty of free parking, which I know can be really fantastic for our patients. It's really accessible from the freeway. We're right by 26 and 217, which is great for the folks that are taking medical transportation. We have a lot of folks on Oregon Health Plan who utilize Ride to Care. And so that's been a really great location for us as well. And so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our different levels of care. So our highest level of care, and the one that most of our folks start in, is our PHP level of care, sometimes called day treatment. And so this is a step below residential and a step above intensive outpatient. So our PHP program is pretty structured. It's Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we expect the patients to stay on site during that time. We do provide lunch. And we have snacks and coffee and tea available to make it, comfortable for them to be there throughout the day. And while they're here, they'll be going to groups. We have clinical groups, relapse prevention, DBT, nonviolent communication, those types of groups. And we also offer yoga on Mondays, nutrition on Wednesdays, where we have a nutritional therapist come in, talk with the patients about different things, nutrition related, digestion, just all kinds of cool things. And then the nutritional therapist and the patients prepare a meal together and eat a meal together. So that's what we do on Wednesdays. We also have art group. We're going out to 12-step meetings. We're going out to the fitness center. the Cedar Hill Recreation Center, just trying to give that patient experience. We also, we went snow tubing yesterday. A bunch of our PHP and some of our IOP patients went, and that was amazing. Just trying to give them that recovery experience. And then we offer intensive outpatient, which intensive outpatient can be pretty flexible. They don't have to be on that Monday through Friday schedule. We do offer evening groups Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we have groups at 5:30 p.m. and 7 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So someone could theoretically do their entire intensive outpatient in the evenings, or they could choose one morning or 2 evenings, or they could start their day at 11 and go until 3. Intensive outpatient is really designed to work with someone's schedule who might be working or going to school, or be back at home taking care of their family. So we're really trying to give that experience, and they have access to all the same groups. So any of the groups that the PHP patients have available, the IOP patients could be a part of as well as in the activities. And then outpatient is typically a step down. We have some people starting outpatient, but most people are stepping down from the higher levels of care. And that's usually an evening or group or so a week, and then just meeting with their counselor, maybe 2 times a month, sometimes even just once a month. Outpatient's really for folks who just need that additional layer of support, but have most of the time transitioned to already having a pretty good hold in the recovery community. And so those are our levels of care. We also offer DUI. So we have a state-approved DUI program. And that can be completed within PHP, within IOP, or within outpatient. That just really depends on what level of care that they're needing. And we're going to make sure they get that DUI taken care of. So we're in network with Providence Health Plan. Another Chance is pretty new. We've been here just about 20 months. So we haven't gotten in network with a lot of private insurances yet. We're working on it, but as of the first of the year, in network with Providence Health Plan. And we're also in network with OHP CCO Health Share. We are accepting all types of OHP, but we're in network with Health Share. And then anyone who doesn't have out-of-network benefits and they do have private insurance, we're really great at getting single case agreements. And it's also really important for everyone to note that Another Chance has never turned anyone away for lack of ability to pay. If somebody is a good fit for our program and we truly believe our program is going to best serve their needs, we are going to offer a scholarship. We're going to set up a payment plan. We're going to make sure that they're getting the treatment that they need. And if they choose Another Chance, then that's where they're going to go, is here with us. And so as it says here, if someone doesn't have health insurance, we have a few Medicare folks who are scholarshiped because we're not in network with Medicare. You would just talk to Jessica, our outreach and admissions person, and she will discuss the options. We also have sliding scale fees as well. So we're partnering with Northwest Recovery Homes to provide housing for our PHP patients. We opened the women's house of Northwest Recovery Homes in September, and we expect to open the men's house by May. So this is really exciting. The women absolutely love living there. It's a beautiful home. We're so proud to partner with Northwest Recovery Homes. So here's some pictures of the home. So the process of getting into the home is basically they approach Another Chance, mention that they need housing, and then we turn them over to Northwest Recovery Homes to be screened. The rent is $650 a month for a shared room and $750 for a single room. And we're also working with OHP Flex Funds quite a bit to help people with the moving costs and rent for that. And also we're working with other recovery homes. So obviously we only have a women's house at this time, and it only has 10 beds. So we have lots of folks in our PHP, IOP programs in need of sober living. And we have some great community partners that we work with. So if someone's coming into Another Chance and they don't have safe and sober housing, we're going to work with our community partners to place them in safe and sober housing and apply for OHP Flex Funds if they have Organ Health Plan, to help them figure out some funding until they can get on their feet and obtain employment. So even if we don't have room available in Northwest Recovery Homes, we're going to help place people in sober living. And this is just our approach. I've already talked a little bit about this. We really try to recognize the autonomy of our patients, have them tell us what recovery looks like for them, and then we're going to help them find it. If someone isn't really into 12-step programs, we're going to help them find refuge recovery, yoga, hiking, hiking meetups, whatever works for people. We're really trying to help them find that sweet spot for their recovery. And so we're just providing that safe space for the people. We are an abstinence-based program, And we recognize that that might not be someone's entire goal. So we're just looking at the whole person and not just their clean time, so to speak. And this is just a list of some of the groups that we offer. I've already talked about those a little bit. One that I didn't mention, we have a role-playing group that's centered around trauma processing, and the patients absolutely love it. They build a character and they play out scenarios with the character, and it's one of the most popular groups. So I forgot to mention that one that's on the list here. And then we do a lot of nonviolent communication. So it's expected that the patients and the staff utilize that to the best of their ability when communicating with each other, so that we're not re-traumatizing each other with our communication. And this is our team. We have a couple new staff members. I don't have pictures of them yet. I apologize for that, but our team is growing. I'm excited to announce that. So yeah, this is the folks that are serving our patients. Our medical director, Jessica. It's just really exciting to look at these faces and see our team for me. And this is some images of our facility. So one of my favorite spaces you'll see up on the top row, the second picture over, is our Serenity Room. This picture does not capture the Serenity Room and what an amazing space it is. So if a patient has just to get away from group for a little while and take a breather, meditate, maybe take a doctor's appointment over Zoom, they can step into the Serenity Room and have that private space to do that. We have a rec room with pool tables, ping pong table. They always have puzzles going, board games where patients are spending time in between groups. We have laptops that they can use for work search or whatever they need for, just to get going in life. And we have coffee and tea available all the time. And those are our group rooms. The main group room is almost all windows on the side and just has lots of natural light. And then group room 2 is our experiential group room. And it's not pictured in there now, but that's where art group happens. So there's art hanging up all over in there as well, which is pretty cool. All right. So do I have any questions?
Go ahead, Fern.
Okay, I have one. You had mentioned that you have some opportunities for people that don't have the monies to participate. How many slots are available?
We don't really have actual slots available. We're just meeting with people, getting to know them. If they're a good fit, then we're either going to scholarship or do a sliding scale payment plan. So we don't have a specific number of slots available. We're just, if someone's a good fit, we're going to help them get services with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Oh, and how do you refer? So referring is pretty simple. There's a couple different ways. You could call our main number, which I'll put in the chat after I'm done presenting. You can call Jessica, or you can reach out through the website. Right now, we're a little far out scheduled for assessments just because we're training new counselors. So typically we're getting people into services within a week or 10 days. Right now it's about 2.5 weeks. That's going to be remedied fairly quickly. I'm just getting these counselors trained on assessments, and we'll be able to get people in a little sooner. And yeah, so we do support people with getting work in that we're pointing them toward those resources. Southeast Works. We have some patients using the Learn and Earn program. We're just helping familiarize them with the platforms to find work. Maybe I have a counselor right now helping one of our patients with a resume. So we're definitely supporting that process. And they don't need to have a job before joining the program. Most of our PHP patients don't have jobs because their treatment schedule is pretty full. Anyone can refer to us. We have really been working on childcare resources, getting to know those a little bit. So more will be revealed there. My dream is that someday we'll have a daycare, but we're not there yet. And yeah, so people can self-refer, family refer. We get referrals from probation, and anybody can refer. So if someone you love, someone you know, someone you're working with needs services, just give us a call. Oh, and we're very close to public transportation. Thank you, Jessica, for pointing that one out. We're about a mile from the Sunset Transit Center, and there's a bus that comes directly to us from there. So we are pretty close to public transportation. And we do have, most of our patients are doing ride to care, but we do have some that take public transportation as well. And we provide bus tickets until they can get a bus pass set up through ride to care as well. Yes, we aren't accepting children into our house yet. And we're working with Iron Tribe. We worked with Mountain View and some other recovery housing that does offer family housing. So if somebody's in need of that, we will help them figure that out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Meredith. Super appreciate you. And the building is, or your space is beautiful. And what you're offering, I love seeing kind of just a wide variety of opportunities for community to connect. So thank you so much for what you're doing. And I think it's Jessica, is that correct? The person that's taking. Thank you so much. Look forward to meeting you. Thanks for being here. And I'm sure, Meredith, is it okay if we add your email to the follow-up notes?
Absolutely, please
Okay.
do. Mhm.
Okay, awesome. We will do that. So any
And I'll
follow-up
put contact
questions?
info in the chat as well.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so real quick intermission. We just have the Airtable link here for attendance. All of you, most of you know kind of how that rolls. Just helps us keep track of who's attending, numbers, so we can go after more funding to provide more opportunities like this to learn and grow. So thank you so much for taking a second to fill that out. If you have any questions, let us know. All right. So while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next speaker, Matthew McCarl from Cultivate Initiatives. He's the Community Engagement and Action Director. Matthew, are you on? Let's see.
Yes, just give me one.
Awesome.
I'm just trying to get this figured out.
No problem.
All right, I'm here now. Cool. I was trying to
Awesome.
get I was doing the form and then got off
Oh,
track.
got it. Sorry, I didn't mean
no,
to
you're
ask you to do
fine.
so many
You're
things
good.
at the same time. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. And can I share should I be able to share my screen?
You should. Perfect.
All right, does that look okay?
Perfect. Awesome.
Great.
Okay.
I'm going to stay back here for a minute. Hello, everybody. My name is Matt McCarl. I work with Cultivate Initiatives. We're an organization in East Portland, and we work alongside our neighbors who have been marginalized, and especially those who are experiencing houselessness. And we really do that through work, community health, housing and shelter, and community building. So that's a little bit about who we are, kind of as a broad stroke. We really started as a volunteer group of people on 122nd Avenue around 4 or 5 years ago. There was a new shelter coming into the neighborhood, and as usually happens, there was a neighborhood meeting, and there were a couple hundred people there with signs to reject the new shelter, and that really spurred some people who founded our organization to ask what it would look like for a neighborhood to embrace their new neighbors at a shelter, rather than either just blindly let it in or to reject it. So that's kind of how we started, really, then, as a group of people who would just gather, both housed and unhoused, and then over time started to say yes to different opportunities, like running a severe weather shelter, doing outreach, running a shower truck. All of this before we had any money. And really in the last 1.5 to 2 years is when we've started to provide more, where we've stepped into the role more of like a service provider, but still we carry with us a lot of that DNA of really a group of people in a community. So I'll jump into a little bit more of what we do. Our 3 main initiatives are workforce development, community health, and housing and sheltering. So first, workforce development. And one thing I just forgot to say, one of the reasons why we're excited about this is because we're kind of at this size where we're growing a lot, but we still need a lot of partnerships. So we're really excited to be able to connect with more people on here and hopefully be able to expand what we're able to do for and with our neighbors. So workforce development. Really, the crux of this is we're connecting our neighbors re-entering the workforce with supportive work opportunities. And so for the most part, this is people who are experiencing houselessness. For example, the first thing that we do, usually the way that most people get involved with us, is the intern program. This is short-term day labor and resource assistance. So people will come work with our community beautification team doing garbage removal. It's super low barrier to get into this program. Literally just need to show up, do the orientation, which is also paid, and you get paid cash at the end of each day working with us, or able to earn up to $600 over the course of usually what is about 2 to 3 weeks. We intentionally kept that at $600 because the aim is for this to be something that anybody can enter at any time. And that's the IRS tax limit at which you can still do cash payments. Usually it's about 2-ish weeks that people will work with us, but we do have some people who want to extend that over a month or 2 months so that they can, just work 1 day a week and get more comfortable back to working. We found this is a really great way for people to build confidence, relearn those skills like working on a team, taking directions, communicating, those things that really are going to be applicable across sector once they're getting back into employment. And then it's really an on-ramp into our other services as well. So, we see people then going from that to utilizing our health programs to sometimes that into our shelter or into our housing programs. So it's really an on-ramp into a lot of other things. And it's also, hearing people talk today about rehab and Bybee Lakes Hope Center and stuff. Like, we want this to be a way to be able to draw people into, to be able to say like, okay, you have the confidence and the drive now from being in the intern program. How can we now connect you to what you need next? We also provide employment support through this program. So currently we have a couple of employment partners where they'll come and do hiring interviews here at our site so that, our interns who have a trust with us and maybe don't have the transportation or the means to get to a job interview always on, and come right here, do the interview, and then hopefully be connected to employment that will lead them, further employment into housing. And that's really a way that we're looking for partners as well as for people who are able to provide more of that long-term employment support. We would like to do more of that. We currently just don't have the staff to do it over the long term. Similarly, to be able to provide more health and mental health resources and handoffs is a huge desire for us. Once people finish that intern program, like I said, they're connected with things like our employment partners, their help to get their IDs, their resumes, whatever it is they need to get back into employment. They're also encouraged to apply to work at Cultivate specifically. One of the ways that they can work with us is our community beautification team. This is a team of full-time employees who are former interns, meaning that they've gone through that program. They either are currently or were recently unhoused, and they do garbage removal. So it's really cool because it's, they're both providing services to the housed neighbors and unhoused neighbors. And at the same time, they're providing hope and modeling hope to people who are in the intern program that, hey, I moved on to employment and I was in the same exact position as you. They removed over 1 million pounds of garbage in the last 13 months. So they're out there every day going hard, picking up trash, and quite honestly love it. I keep thinking people are going to get tired of it, but really enjoy the work. It's kind of immediate gratification. And they can see the impact it makes. We also do hire people out of the intern program to our property stewardship and development team, which is, really people who have an experience maybe in a trade. For example, we were just yesterday, one of our property stewardship guys was over at a local plaza doing painting. So we do more like fee-for-service jobs, more specialized jobs. And we do some training for that as well. But we've really found that it's a lot of people who they have the hard skills, but they need some support getting back into employment as a whole. Our community health initiative is our second one. We have a mobile shower and hygiene response that is out 5 days a week at 6 different locations, providing hot showers, laundry, hygiene supplies. And again, this is super low barrier. Anybody can come and access it. You just got to sign up on a sheet and your name can be Mickey Mouse and you can go take a shower. And again, that's an on-ramp into our other services. We want to make sure that this is a place where that people are able to connect with other things. Alongside that, we also have our mobile health services, which is licensed healthcare professionals and healthcare students providing services out in the field. So Currently, we have about 50 nursing students with us each week from Concordia University, St. Paul, and Sumner College, who are out there, doing outreach or at these programs. And so when somebody's going to take a shower, maybe they have that wound that, if it's not treated in 3 months, that's going to put them in the ER. It's going to be traumatizing and also just be a heck of a lot of money, both for everybody involved. And so this is really a chance to be preventative. And as we all know, there's a lot of distrust, and first at some points for good reasons, between folks who are unhoused and the medical care system. So we really hope that this is a way to bridge the gap and to be able to provide referrals. So we're also able to help with things like transportation. If we do, wound care and realize actually this is above our scope, how can we help you get to that next level of care? And we've really just seen a lot of trust be built from it too, where somebody comes to the shower truck and the first week, they don't even look at the nursing students. They're like, heck no, get away from me. I don't want to see scrubs. And then the second week, maybe they have a conversation. And then that third or fourth week, they're like, actually, I have this wound that's been bugging me. And so, this is entirely led by the mobile shower trucks, is led by peers who are currently or recently experiencing houselessness and are part of our workforce development program. And so we really find that it's just able to build a lot of trust, which in the end leads to great outcomes. Street outreach, this is a kind of a plug I wanted to put out there too. We're hiring for an outreach lead at this moment. So if you know of anybody who would like to, do outreach with us, really it's, trying to help people connect both to our programs, but then also to services, programs, community building as a whole. An important thing that I didn't mention yet is most of our work is really east of 82nd Avenue. So we're in Northeast and Southeast Portland, but really we're pretty focused east of 82nd, and our kind of epicenter is 122nd. And on that note, our community health initiative also does a lot of health at our Safe Rest Village, which I'll talk about in this next one. So we operate the Menlo Park Safe Rest Village, which is a coordinated project between Cultivate Initiatives, the Safe Rest Village team at the City of Portland, and the Joint Office of Homeless Services. And so we operate all of the on-site services. And currently, so it says 50 there. There are 49 residents at the village. It just got full, I think, last month. So it's really exciting. We don't yet have numbers since it's so early on. We don't yet have numbers on who has transitioned to permanent housing. But really our aim with the Safe Rest Village is that it's a place that people can transition into, next step of stability and community and independence. So, for some people, that means they're going to be meeting with their case manager more often. We have peer support specialists on site. A passion of ours is really to get people engaging outside of their unit so that it wouldn't just be a place to go in your unit and continue whatever life you were living before that, but really that there would be things that would draw you out of that unit. And we are having yoga, meditation, different groups to be able to, even just like jewelry making this last weekend, to get people out of there, to really build community and get people feeling like they matter and they're humans again, because we know that in the end that's what leads to outcomes as well. And like I said before, we also have community health services there. So we have our nursing students there a few days a week. Currently, they're there right now, being able to provide any checkups. We also have a partnership with the Blackburn Center through Centricity Concern, which is Kitty Corners. So we're able to refer people for medical needs, psychiatric needs. And we also have a licensed physical therapist on staff who does some hours over at the Safe Rest Village. So she's able to do wound care and any other sort of needs and assessments. Other thing that I wanted to mention, yes, we just another kind of hiring, put it out there. If anybody knows of people who are looking for roles, we are always hiring at the Safe Rest Village, pretty much. Peer support specialists, case managers, and the really hard one, like everybody else, I'm sure, is finding mental health professionals. So we're hiring for all of those positions, and it's an exciting sort of coming off the ground work environment. And we also do severe weather shelters. So tomorrow night, we're most likely going to be operating severe weather shelters. I don't know if it's fully been announced yet, but whenever it gets too hot or too cold, and we've really found that this is where we build our best relationships. A lot of our staff, we actually met at this. Currently, over half of our staff have recently experienced houselessness within the last 2 to 3 years. And many of them we've met, at the lowest low of the heat dome, or when it's 20 degrees outside. So we really love these. As much as they are taxing on our staff and on us individually, they really lead to a lot of great relationships, and that's who we are. So and then lastly is our supportive housing program. So just to be clear, this is not permanent supportive housing, but it is trying to help people connect to actual housing options. So depending on what funding looks like, sometimes that is through rental assistance, sometimes that's through, this summer we were part of the Move in Multnomah program, and we helped over 70 people get into housing and get a lease. And even when there's not funding available for rental assistance, we are able to help people, see what kind of resources that they qualify for, see what kind of assistance they might already have and where we can get them in. We have a housing specialist who has a lot of property management experience, so he's able to really connect with landlords and be able to make some good deals for people, which has been really exciting to see. We also have a master lease program, which is currently at capacity, but we are hoping to expand in the near future, where we sign on the lease with a neighbor who's experiencing houselessness, to be able to provide, basically a way in, because we found with the workforce development program that we were having our staff who were now making enough money that they could afford a rent. They could afford rent, but they couldn't qualify for a lot of traditional assistance anymore. So this really helps to be able to bypass background checks, application fees, all these barriers that keep people out, while they're also building these tools of independence and paying their own rent, utilities, all that kind of stuff. So that's something we're working on, but don't quite have what's it called, more capacity for it yet. And kind of the last two things I just wanted to put out there with our mobile shower and hygiene response, we're always looking for partners who want to come to the sites. It's really a great way where we have a lot of trust with the neighbors who are around there. And so to be able to centralize services, we work out of some mobile health and community wellness fairs, and we found that that's a great way to be able to sort of have a one-stop shop for multiple needs, almost like this call right now. And then also that, if you're a place that you would like to offer showers, we're always looking for different ideas of places that we could bring the shower trucks to. They're fully mobile. And again, they're operated with the peer-to-peer concept. So that is pretty much this is our team from this summer. But yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat and I can answer now, or keep my email down and we can reach out in the future.
Awesome, Matt. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for Matt? Again, amazing work. All of you are doing such incredible work and filling such a need in this community, and just doing it with such grace and in collaboration with so many other agencies as well. I love it. I love it. I think there's a few, let's see, do you only work with people currently experiencing homelessness?
That's a good question, Meg. It kind of depends on the program. So for example, like the showers, no, literally anybody can come to that. Same with mobile health services. So all of our community health is pretty much open to anybody. As far as workforce development, that's most of who it is, but we also do have people who, they're not unhoused, but they haven't worked in 5 years, or maybe they have 10 felonies, So we are definitely open to for workforce development, working with people who just have other barriers to employment as well. And same with housing and sheltering. We do take into consideration, depending on the funding source, that, if you have a lot of those barriers, or you might be right on the verge of being unhoused, that's definitely worth getting some assistance as well. And the last thing that I forgot to say, I'm so glad you asked about who we work with, is that for the Safe Rest Village, we're often asked about referrals. We're not involved very thoroughly in the referral process. All referrals go through the Street Services Coordination Center. So never am offended when people ask, but it's always a pretty blank answer like that. And then Michael, the operating area for the mobile shower units is pretty much east of the 82nd for the most part. We have our schedules updated every week on all of our social medias. I also can send out some brochures. The farthest west we ever go is weekly. We go to the Woodstock neighborhood at All Saints Episcopal Church. But besides that, we're 82nd and east pretty much. So, and a lot of southeast, we would love to expand to some different areas east of 82nd. So if you ever have ideas, let us know. Shane, let me just read your question real quick. Yeah, so for the internship employment, they're capped at earning $600 unless they are then hired on as an employee. So you can make $600 per year. So for example, we had some people who, did the internship program last year, earned their $600. And for whatever reason, either maybe they didn't find employment or they found employment, but it's flexible or whatever. So they came back and did it again. They are capped though at that $600 per year. And then after that is when we try to assist people into either getting hired on as an employee at Cultivate Initiatives or hired on into some sort of employment entity in the community. And that's a great question. We do work with people with disabilities, but we don't have any specific services. So if there were, let's say, for example, for our internship program, people go out and clean up garbage, which, there are some disabilities that would limit somebody from being able to do that. We don't at this time have a lot of other options or specific services. So that would be another way of, folks do provide employment specific services for us to be able to have that warm handoff where we end. But we do have people who have, less limiting physical disabilities that we're able to still work within our programs.
Great questions. Anyone else have any other questions for Matt?
Thank you all for listening and for the curiosity, and yeah, reach out if anything comes up.
Awesome. And if it's okay, Matt, I'll add your email as well to the follow-up notes on Friday. Is that cool?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for presenting and thanks for all the work that you do. All right. Last but not least, we have Kristen Brown with 311. This is, Kristen, remind me, is this, I know it's not a new program, but it is a little newer on the landscape in the area, correct? And I think you might, let's see, I can't hear you. Can anyone else hear? Could just be me. Oh,
Is that better?
perfect. Okay. All right. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, you bet. So we have been around, 311 has been around in some form or iteration, but we just started our public awareness campaign last summer in 2022. So thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to be here. I kind of feel like I've killed the M vibe. We had Meg, Meredith, Matthew, and now we have Kristen. So sorry about that, but hopefully I can keep up with our great presenters and share with you guys some interesting information that might be helpful. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is always fun and dicey all at the same time. Let's see from beginning. Can you guys see? I can no longer see you. So if there's a verbal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's try. Maybe if it's over here. How about now?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So my name is Kristen Brown. I'm the Communications and Marketing Coordinator for PDX 311. We are a phone number for community members to call for non-emergency services. So when we started expanding back in 2020, we really set our focus on this vision statement where we want folks to be able to easily and effectively access local government information. And that is a big mouthful for what we're trying to do. But the crux of what we're trying to do is make connecting with local government easy. This is kind of an overview of our program. Folks within Multnomah County can pick up the phone and call 311 and they will reach a live person if they're calling Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We have call takers who speak many different languages, and we also have access to language line. So folks who are speaking any language other than English can pick up the phone, connect with us. We'll connect with language line and then help that conversation. We're working right now as part of our public education campaign to really discern the differences between why you would call 911, 211, and 311. We eventually are going to operate 24 hours a day, and eventually Portlanders will have these three options. There is a non-emergency number for the police, and that number is being answered by 911 call takers. And it's one of the reasons why it's taking a while for folks who call 911 to reach a call taker. It's why there's a hold. So making 311 a more robust program will help alleviate those hold times. We're just in the beginning journey of getting 311 into folks' brain and vernacular. And while we're here, I'll go ahead and plug that we've just posted more positions for call takers. We're looking to expand into the weekend and expand our evening hours. So if you know some folks who would like the opportunity to work from home, who really enjoy talking to people on the phone and being really nosy and curious about helping residents or visitors or business owners, we get all kinds of calls from all different lanes. And I just say that, you know, our folks who are answering the phones are professional Googlers. But we do more than just that. So our essential functions are information and referral service within local government, online self-service assistance. So if someone needs help filling out a police report, we've got call takers that can help folks through that process. Program specific customer service. We are now answering the phone for PBOT related calls and other bureaus, kind of front desk help, time sensitive and emergency information. Someone calls and they say, gosh, there's debris in the roadway. Our call taker will immediately connect with the appropriate bureau that can take that information and respond. And then the Portland building reception area. So you can see us in person if you come to the Portland building. We're also handling emails 311@portlandoregon.gov in the same manner that we answer phone calls. So they go into our system, they get assigned a person, and then a person is responding. And great other things are listed on the other side of the screen. I would say our number one call is regarding unauthorized campsites and abandoned automobiles, amongst many other things. And if pre our services and pre PDX reporter, if a community member wanted to report something, they would kind of have to know what bureau to go to, or is this something they want to report to the state, to the county, if it's in a roadway. And truly, we are trying to just simplify things for community members and easily take the information that they want to give and get it to the right person. This is just a snapshot of what our program saw in January. We had over 11,000 contacts, 10,000 of which were phone calls. We answered those 90% of those calls in less than 25 seconds. And the infographic on the right is just kind of showing the amount of growth that we've seen year over year. I wanted to touch base on the public education campaign because that is my baby. We are in the general awareness and 911 versus 311 kind of campaign focus right now, to really, like I said, help alleviate those hold times for 911. So you'll see some of our promotion on the back of TriMet buses, in buses right now. We've done some partnering advertising with the Observer, Willamette Week. We're at events handing out tchotchkes, just really trying to make people aware of 311 and its existence. And when we started our program, we focused on specific audiences. So all of our information is translated into various languages, and we're really focusing on East Portland or east of Portland. And these are just some of our communication tools. And I would love to hear if you guys have any feedback about ways in which we could continue to share our messages. And a little bit of how the sausage is made. We're not just a call center. We are working to help the bureaus within the city of Portland kind of declutter. This is a real deal plot of what happens if someone wants to report a problem. And I know we've got the parks information here, and this is no shade to our parks and recreation. They're amazing. They're fabulous. But based on systems that we've been using in the past, we're trying to help our bureaus understand what happens when a community member calls or reports something, and kind of how the different avenues of that report, where they go through, because you may be reporting something and it goes to 3 different bureaus, and then all 3 of those bureaus are tracking in a different way. They're reporting it in a different way. And we're really looking to hone in and simplify the process. Something that's fun and silly, but we're super proud of, is how folks report graffiti. Again, depending on where that graffiti is, if it's on private property, public property, city property, depending on how big it is, it all touches somebody different. So we've got this online form that we've created, and it's responsive based on your answers. So it's kind of like H&R Block when you're doing your taxes. You know, you're filling in information, and then the next prompt is responsive to that information that you've provided. And so with our graffiti reporting system that's kind of changed over, we're able to get a fabulous map, and all the different partners that help abate the graffiti are logging into a back-end system, telling us how much time that it took for them to abate the graffiti. And then we're able to see holistically as a whole, what does graffiti look like in the city? How long has it taken to, abate Northeast Portland or whatever? It's never going to happen, but it is fascinating that when we work together and when we're kind of on the same system, we're able to share more clear information to our electeds and more clear information to our community members. We also put together a monthly report that talks about all the different calls that we've received, which bureau the call touches, or if it's an outside jurisdiction. And these are all just fun graphics that we've been extolling on our social media channels about ways in which we can help the community. And then if you would like, you can scan this QR code and it'll add 311 as a contact in your cell phone. My next slide is questions and discussion. So I'm going to stop sharing and maybe give it 5 seconds. And I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Let's see.
There's a few in the chat. Let's see. Layla had said, how has 311 made a difference so far with the police department? Any data with 911 turnaround time improvements?
Yeah, so that we did a program deep dive in October, and we found that roughly 3% of calls we were able to slough off of that non-emergency line. Since then, the phone bank, when people call non-emergency, now includes us. And so we're collecting that data and that information. So I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I know we've definitely collected more phone calls since their phone tree has changed. Let's see, what are the top areas you're focusing on with the program? Truly, for folks to start using 311. And I would say our focus is the difference between 311, 211, and 911 is really how we're trying to educate folks. We have a great relationship with 211, and we do a lot of, you know, bumping people over to them and then bumping people to us. So that's fantastic, but we want folks to know what they can call us for, so that way we can help them efficiently and we don't have to do the bumping around, because that's annoying and nobody has time for that.
And is there any sort of follow-up to the community member who made that, let's say, graffiti, kind of gave the indication of graffiti in a certain area? I know that's a lot of work, but
Yeah, it depends on what it is. So I believe with graffiti specifically, if it's on a business building, the follow-up there is the city has resources to provide that business owner paint and paintbrushes. So it kind of depends on what it is. And some bureaus will follow up, like if there's a tree that's reported down, then of course, someone from the Parks Division would call that person and get more information or schedule coming out to take a look at what the tree is. I see Fern, yes, hi.
Hi. Hey, I wasn't wondering, you started off by saying Multnomah County,
Mhm.
and then your references were just a city.
Sure.
So can you help clarify for me? Are you just starting in the city and then expanding to Multnomah County? And then, because we have so much a crossover between other counties, Washington County and Clackamas County,
Mhm.
help me understand really the breadth and the depth. Thank you.
Got it. So our service, if you are inside Multnomah County, you can pick up the phone and dial 311 and you will reach PDX 311. If you're in any other county, if you dial 311, Clackamas County doesn't have a 311 program. Washington County doesn't, but I believe up in Vancouver they do. And when we answer the phone, so we've got 16 call takers, they're City of Portland employees, we're able to answer information about Multnomah County local government and city local government. So we got a phone call the other day where someone said, I want to register to vote. We can help you with that information. It's kind of the difference between like, we're civic services, whereas 211 is social services.
Thank you. And I have a follow-up question on that.
Yeah, please.
I work with people that have cognitive challenges.
Uh-huh.
And so if people are having trouble signing up for something on the computer that's relevant to signing up, for example, one of the parks programs, do you help with that, or is it just a referral?
No, absolutely. We can assist with that. And that goofy little graffiti report form that I'm so thrilled about. We also have an ADA form specifically for that information. So say someone has a physical disability and they can't get into the East Portland Community Center. There's a form at the bottom of every single City of Portland website that they can go to and fill out. And someone from our team takes that information and kind of triages it and says, you know, hey, Kristen, thanks so much for reaching out. I'm going to connect you with blah, blah, blah at the Parks and Rec department, and then kind of follows the process of getting this person who has made a request over to, you know, completion of whatever the final product is.
Very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for a good question. Oh, Meg, yes, I have a flyer and I'll pop it See if I can do some jazzy fingers and pop it in real quick.
Right, and then I can share it afterward, Kristen, as well.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah. That map just,
The graffiti map, yeah. I know.
yes. Well, no, I'm sorry, not the graffiti map, the tree, just how many
Oh.
cars are coming in and the diagram around kind of what's currently maybe happening and what you're trying to improve upon. So kudos to you, and it's exciting to see this starting to take shape.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for Kristen?
Yeah, I'm wondering too, how do we get a hold of you? Dialing 311?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We've got, like I said, 16 call takers, looking to expand that to 25, but
No, I'm talking about you specifically.
oh, sure. I'll drop my email in.
I'm signing you up for some presentations is what it is.
Fantastic. I love it. I love
I
it.
love it. That's awesome.
I will say we are looking to expand into chat services. That's going to be great and fun and exciting, but right now we're phone and email for our services or through the Portland building.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Kristen. Everyone's such an important program. So thanks so much for sharing about it. And I'm sure you'll see Kristen also at some of our upcoming fairs and at the Fix It Fair, maybe on the 4th. So awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you to all of our presenters. I will definitely share your information in our follow-up email that you'll receive on Friday. If you are not signed up for our CSN weekly resource email, make sure to go to our website, www.csnpdx.org, and you can click on the Join Us little button, and that will add you to our email list. And then you'll receive all the notes from the meeting this week. So thank you again to all of our presenters for being here, and to all of you for being here and taking time out of your day to learn some more about these amazing programs. So before we wrap up, it looks like Ruth said we have about 29 of the 40 that are on the call have completed the Airtable form. So if you have a moment to just check in real quick on that form, that would be great. I also wanted to share a workshop that's coming up that we're hosting in partnership with the YWCA, and it's called Exploring Social Identity Development, Privilege, Oppression, and Social Position. And I just posted that in the chat along with the link to sign up. That is on March 9th from 3 to 5 p.m. It is a free workshop to all of you and open to your colleagues as well. So please feel free to share. Again, it's virtual, and I just want to make sure you have that time carved out. It is 2 hours, but it's going to be a really great workshop. Super excited about Casey Lopez is the presenter for this one. So let me know if you have any additional questions. Please feel free to share that. And is there anything anyone else would like to share before we wrap up today? Go ahead and stop recording here. Any event